Okay, it's live now. Assalamu alaikum everyone to who is watching us, watching this session. Today, I thought to bring some PhD students with us to discuss their opportunities and challenges that they face while studying PhD, while doing PhD in Europe. So we have three main guests with us. I welcome you all, but I want you to introduce yourself and your name, your affiliation, and if you want to add something, you can add it. So we will start with Amreen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Afsha, for having me here today. Um, my name is Amreen Salim, and I am a PhD researcher at the Institute of Social Studies of Erasmus University in the Netherlands. Um, my research is focused on challenges of migrant women here in the Netherlands as they negotiate the erasure and disregard of their knowledges. So, mostly around, you can say, the topic of politics of knowledge. Um,
Okay.
and besides being a PhD researcher, I'm also involved in some research projects with the Municipality of The Hague. And I am the founder and managing director of a research organization based here in the Netherlands. And we focus and work with, again, migrants and refugees across Europe. And I'm a member of European Coalition of Migrants and Refugees and a board member of a couple of other organizations. And besides that, I love to travel. I love to listen to poetry, to good music, and I love to go for a walk. And I miss my gym. I like to do
Okay.
that as well. And this is me.
Hmm. Thank you for detailed introduction. And I also remember you used to listen to Sindhi music as well, so
Yes,
I
very
enjoyed
fond of.
that part.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
let's go to. Do you want to add something?
no, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay,
I'll be
thank
happy to respond to the questions and yeah, go with the flow.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Asad, coming to you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Gulafia, for giving this opportunity. Hope many people in Pakistan and anywhere, if they are listening, they can get help from this diverse experience that we bring in here. I'm Asadullah Lashari. I'm a lecturer at University of Sindh in Department of English. I'm doing my PhD here. I've just completed my 2 years, entering to final year of my PhD in University of Nottingham. My research is about the discourses of gendered leadership in higher education. So it's a sort of blending of leadership and linguistics, where I bring in linguistic theories to explore the idea of gendered leadership in higher education. Uh, it has been quite a different experience keeping in view the COVID, because as soon we came here, we were just hit by the COVID and the life was changed. It's not the same. And if people who are coming in next year or after that, they might face something new because hopefully COVID will be over. But there are many things that we are going to share with our audience today. Uh, Despite COVID, it has been really productive. Despite COVID, it has been really productive. I got the chance to teach here as well in my department. I also got one project, and I collaborated in that project as a research associate. So it's been a good journey. It could have been better, but I'm quite satisfied with that.
Okay,
And this is all about it. Thank you.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, interesting. Okay, Abdul Zahid, please, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Abdul Zahid. I am a PhD student, almost done with it in France, in the south of France. It's a city called Aix-en-Provence. My PhD topic is on luxury branding. The PhD is actually on a broad level. It's in consumer psychology. And I'm working specifically on the brand perceptions pertaining to gender and cross-cultural perceptions. How are men different than women when it comes to consumption? How are Eastern people different from Western people when it comes to consumption, and specifically of luxury brands? So I have been originally, I'm from Quetta, Balochistan, Pakistan, and I am a teacher and a lecturer. I've been teaching courses of marketing and from quite some time back there in Quetta, and here too, as part of some hours which we were supposed to fulfill in doctorate. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. It's been quite some time now, 5 years. And then we had to taste COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID life. So yeah, it's amazing. I have a lot to share in this session, which we will keep on doing. Thanks.
Okay. थैंक यू जाहिद. अच्छा, थोड़ा सा पहले हम फॉर्मल डिस्कशन करेंगे ताकि वो स्टूडेंट्स, वो प्रॉस्पेक्टिव स्टूडेंट्स जो पीएचडी करना चाह रहे हैं यूरोप से, वो थोड़ा प्रोसीजर भी समझ सकें, या स्कॉलरशिप अपॉर्चुनिटीज़, या हाउ टू गेट इनटू यूरोप into PhD program or any other educational programs. So we would be talking about why and how did you get into the PhD program in Europe. So maybe we can start with Asad. Asad, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I always have dreamed to study abroad since I was doing my undergrad. So I wanted to study abroad. So after doing my undergrad, I was continuously. Are you guys there? Because I'm only seeing myself on the screen. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gee, we can listen you.
Okay. I thought I lost you. So
no.
it's been quite a journey. I tried a lot since 2013. I was searching for different scholarships. I got few opportunities, missed them, some half opportunities. So I was like always in hunt of scholarship for masters or PhD. The meanwhile, I couldn't get the scholarship, so I did my masters from Pakistan. So because I was seeing that there are more opportunities for the PhD in comparison with the masters. And again, it depends upon the subjects that you are in. So if you are doing linguistics or arts, there are quite less opportunities abroad. Meanwhile, I was doing teaching as well. So when I completed my masters, my search, my hunt continued. And I was like, I applied almost every country. I applied in their scholarships, universities scholarships, their national scholarships, or any funding opportunity. I applied in all the universities in UK who offered funding. So eventually I got this one. This is called Vice Chancellor's Scholarship, Vice Chancellor's Research Excellence Scholarship for international students. Universities in UK, because it's quite different in other European countries, because there are large tuition fees, huge tuition fees. These scholarships are quite competitive, and each university gives very few scholarships each year to international students. So there are hundreds of applications every year, and there is no limitation of the subjects. You are from arts, you are social sciences, business, everybody competes, and very few are selected. Some universities offer 5 scholarships every year, some universities offer 10, maybe 20, but 4 5, this is the number that they offer each year. So I find myself quite fortunate that among hundreds of applications, I got this scholarship and came here, because this is also one of the finest universities in UK. Just yesterday, the ranking was announced, as you might have seen, of the world universities. The University of Nottingham stands 18, number 18 universities in the UK. So it's been a good opportunity, and I tell my friends that if you continue hunting, you will find eventually, because there are a lot of opportunities. it takes patience, because every time you fill out the scholarship forms, they are so lengthy. You change your personal statements, you change your proposals, you are continuously in touch with supervisors, emailing them, waiting. So it's been a tedious task, but it's worth in the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Asad, for sharing this journey, how it started.
Yeah.
Okay, Ambreen, can you share some of your experiences regarding how and why did you get into PhD program?
Um, okay, so I did my master's from Islamabad in development studies, and then I worked for a while with USAID, and I found out that okay, to grow further, I need a PhD, a doctoral degree, and that
Mhm.
too from abroad somewhere. So I started applying and uh, applying and applying, like
Mhm.
as I just mentioned, but I wasn't getting positive response. So one of my friends suggested that why don't you try to step down and start applying in a research-based master's, or something that is funded as well. So I started doing that, and I got the opportunity to do a master's again, but fully funded here in the Netherlands. I came here to do this master's, but actually, I was talking to all the professors, looking at how I can get in a PhD here, admission, but also funding. But in the meantime, I realized that we need to focus on two things to get an admission in PhD. First is to look for a funded opportunity, for which most of the time, rather all the time, the call is announced. There is a call for a funded position, and you respond to that call. And then, it depends on the factors like the strength of your proposal and your experience to win that position, which is paid. But the second path is the path where you go as self-funded, and for that you need to check out professors, talk to them, find out the ways and all that. So during my master's degree, there was just one call for PhD proposals, and I wasn't even eligible to apply for that in my university, at least, because it's required living for at least 6 months before the start of program in home country. And so I started looking for the second way to get into PhD, which was self-funded. So I started talking to professors, and uh, to cut it short, brief, uh, for the students who are trying for that, you need to look at two things. First is the thematic focus of the professor, and second is the geographical focus of work of the professor. And I have seen that most of the professors like to work in their thematic focus, but are willing to, diversify the geographic focus. So if the professor is working on, for example, education for XXX, then in Latin America, then you can, of course, reach the professor to work on education in this in South Asia or some other place. And this is what I did. I was talking to many professors, and very few were working on Pakistan. For example, here at Erasmus University, very, very few. And I've managed to discuss my proposal successfully, I would say, with this professor, and I got the admission. But I could not get the funded. I'm self-funded, and it has been a difficult experience. Um, but also it brought opportunities. So maybe I can discuss that later.
Yeah.
This is the
Sure.
story of how I got into the PhD.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Okay, coming to Abdul Zahid. So we have a mix of students who are on self-finance basis and some are on scholarship. So this discussion is going to be interesting for the students who wants to have get into PhD program. They can benefit from this discussion. See, G, coming to Zahid. G, Zahid.
So the story is the same as Amreen and Asad said, like applying a lot. It was in 2014. I think I had sent applications for jobs, for scholarships in Pakistan to almost 70 or 80 places. So when I was back in my home city, Quetta, I was looking at my wardrobe. I found like this much roll number slips of NTS. So at that time, there was NTS testing service, which was quite in everything, and HEC scholarships too. So I got, I've been applying everywhere. So I applied for GAT. I don't even remember in which year. And then I was so fed up of applying and not getting selected, of course, because of a lot of reasons, less marks, etc., etc. And then one day in Quetta, we were sitting at this tea stall, Kabir building. It's very famous back there. And then my friend was like, there's another HEC scholarship opening. And I was like, I'm not spending any more money on HEC or NTS because I've spent a lot. We were students, of course, at that time. Money mattered a lot. So like, it's nothing, it's just 500 rupees. So just send it. It will not be a big deal. So I was not willing to spend this 500. And he was like, okay, I'm sending my documents. So you will, I will send yours too, because he had all of the copies. So he sent it for me for this HEC scholarship based on the GAT test organized by NTS. And then 1.5 years passed. And one day I got a call from my friend that he has been shortlisted for a scholarship by HEC, Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And I checked my mail, I didn't have it. So he told me, check the spam folder. I checked the spam folder and it was in the spam folder. I was still not sure that I'm selected or anything. So I had to call them to confirm, and they said, yeah, you are selected. That's the story. So I got a scholarship master leading to PhD from Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And then after that, there was this tiresome job of finding a professor to start working with in a very short span of time. I believe it was just 2 weeks. And that was not enough. It was Ramadan. And then I was already fed up. And then I had to find a professor. And then I went on a French university websites. To my horror, everything was in French. So I was pretty much lost. I kept on sending emails to I don't know how many professors, finding their CVs. I didn't know how to apply. I didn't know how to do this. I kept on doing it and doing it. I sent a lot of emails, a lot of applications with the proposal and CV. With even the funding, it was very hard to find a professor to work with. Till on the very last days, I think I had 4 days to submit my professors' names to a Higher Education Commission. And then I got acceptance from one of the professors. And the rest of the story, Afsha knows how it went. So yeah, that was the whole story. So the key to all of this was applying more and spending all of your fortune on NTS or HEC scholarship application. And also, I remember I applied for one scholarship in Sweden, and I had no money to the application fee to convert the Swedish krona to the Pakistani rupees was 15,000 at that time, and I had no money, so I had to borrow that money. So the Swedish university can process my scholarship application. They did, but at the end of the day, we found out, I got an email that, yeah, I have secured an admission, but I will not be provided funding by the university in Sweden because we don't have cultural cooperation initiatives with Pakistan. We only have it with Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and India. So we are sorry, and your application for scholarship has been rejected. So even after that, then I kept on applying, and then finally HEC gave the funding. So yeah, that was it.
Okay, thank you, Zahid. आपने जब सुपरवाइजर फाइंड करने की बात की ना, तो मुझे भी याद आ गया कितनी सारी ईमेल्स की थी।
I
So
would like to add here this
yes, yes.
single incident, I think in 2014, when Hague announced this, because Hague continues to back then announce a lot of 90% scholarships, what they called that time. Uh, I applied to, I appeared in the NTS test, so many, but in this one, especially in 2014, uh, I cleared the test and I was shortlisted for the Turkish University. And they just gave us 2 months, as Zahid has said, for 2 weeks, but they gave us 2 months to me to secure the admission in that university. I remember that at that year, Heck had announced the result quite late than usually it used to. Um so I contacted that university and I emailed them, and they said that the admissions for that particular year in 2000, late 2014, they are closed. So I remember I called Hague, Islamabad. I went to Hague, Karachi, and I told them that the university's admissions are closed. You just assign me any other country or any other university. So I remember they were not really cooperative in this regard. I asked them to defer my scholarship 1 year. They didn't listen to that as well. So this was my first biggest opportunity, yet biggest uh, heartbreak as well, because it didn't work at all. It turned out to be useless. All that effort that I went through, and many of our friends. I think Afyan knows many that year. People who came to France. Many I know, she knows as well. So that was the same test and year. I think we all applied in the Hague.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I was not given any other country than the Turkey, but I couldn't avail that as well. Yeah.
I think the catch in all of this story is for people who want to apply for in the
Hmm.
future is
Hmm.
that you will have rejection, you will
Yes.
have acceptance, and then you will end up on a French website where you don't even know how to properly say
Hmm.
bonjour. So that will
Hmm.
be another story. And even if you do manage to do that, then there will be HEC, and then there will be
Yeah.
problems with that, so you will not get it. So the catch in all of this is like,
Hmm.
don't give up. Maybe one opportunity, if it's lost, a lot of
Hmm.
other doors open. Like, I swear, like I have given a lot of tests in NTS that there was times that I was able to catch the repetitive questions which NTS was giving in their exams. This much
Hmm.
test. One time I remember for State Bank of Pakistan, I was selected on one evening and I was so happy. I sent half of the world messages. And then the next morning, my name was not on the NTS list. Less did I know that I should take a screenshot of the results. So I contacted NTS Islamabad office. I called them. They said, if you don't have proof, you are not selected for the job. I was like, I swear this can't be untrue. I have informed half of my family and half of my friends that I'm selected
Hmm.
for State Bank of Pakistan. And then suddenly the list was gone. So it's Pakistan. You should expect, and you should have backup plans for every single damn thing that can happen in your phase when you're applying for PhD or trying to secure. To the point that in a lot of instances, as I'm from Balochistan, the stories are really horrid from there. There was a guy from Kohlu, which is a very far-flung area of Balochistan. He got a scholarship. He got only 1 month to secure a professor over there, but then he didn't have internet. So how is he supposed to contact a professor in France? Secondly, he didn't have a passport. Third, he didn't have the money to apply for the passport, and he was also quite worried about the bond, which he didn't have that much property to give as a document. When you are with HEC or Higher Education Commission of Pakistan, you need to sign a bond with them equivalent of 60 lakh Pakistani rupees. And for that, you need to have a property, or your friend or family should have a property. That guy didn't have it. At the end of the day, he didn't get the scholarship. So this is what everyone should expect when you're applying for scholarship. You will get a scholarship, you will have everything on your hand, but still you will have nothing on your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you Zahid, thank you for concluding this. ये सब discussion करने का मकसद यही है कि you have to keep yourself motivated because you will get rejection, you will get other challenges that people will be discussing. So Ambreen, do you want to add anything in this? Because we may move to your life experiences and some other questions related to challenges and opportunities. If you want to add something, how to secure admission or anything related to procedure or the list of documents that are important.
I mean, yes, it's important to look at the requirements of the university. For example, you will be required to get your degrees and documents translated and legalized from Ministry of Foreign Affairs and then the relevant embassy in Islamabad. So keep track of that time as well because the timeline gets really difficult to manage at times. So yeah, plan ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Ambreen. Okay, now coming to your life experiences. तो अगर हम एक PhD student की day-to-day life की बात करें तो how does your day-to-day life look like as a PhD student in Europe, particularly as a Pakistani student? So maybe we can start with Zahid.
To be honest, I was looking at some of my pictures which I took on the very first day when I landed in Parisian airport. So the cultural shock is so huge coming from that area and then ending up in Paris. The cultural shock is so huge. I have pictures of trains. I have pictures of streets with no one, and there's just empty street. I have pictures of the French bread, which is called baguette. You will do this kind of stuff. It will start from there. There will be a huge, massive cultural shock. When you are still processing that shock, the next phase will be homesickness. You will have this huge period of homesickness, and you will be so homesick that you will be fed up of everything in foreign country, Europe, United States, UK, whatever. And when you are still going through that phase in a country where English is not a primary language as France or Netherlands, there will be another problem. You start to feel that you're not part of the discussion in your friends, in the class, in school. You can't even read a bus stand notice properly because you don't know the language very good. You have a basic know-how of how to say hi and bye. That will be another problem. So first year, for all of us, I think that all of us would agree, for all of us, first year was really hard, even though you have financial stability because of the scholarship, but then a lot of other things pop up. You need to manage your whole new life where you have to cook for yourself. Guys in our country, they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to wash the clothes. They don't know how to press the clothes, etc., etc. And the list goes on. Feeding yourself after 9 to 5 classes and coming back, leaving your home at 8, and then finding that there's nothing in your fridge or you have nothing to eat. So this you will have in a lot of days, and it will take quite some time to manage all of this. Usually, I'll just quickly say, and then we'll move to another speaker. Usually, people from Pakistan, when they come to Europe or any other foreign Western developed country, the cultural shock is so huge that it's very hard for them to manage, especially in the first year. And they end up, the end result of all of this is not paying very good attention to the studies. We have a lot of cases, and Afshar knows them. We have a lot of cases in France, friends or friends of a friends, which literally went through a mental breakdown during the first few months of shifting to France because of a lot of pressure of the studies, new environment, not having a lot of friends or family like we used to have back there, etc., etc. So anyone who's planning to move, they should be ready for all of this.
Thank you, Zahid. Okay, coming to Amreen. अमरीन, आप स्पेशली जब हम लड़कियों की बात भी करें ना तो क्या आप कैसे दिखती हैं डे टू डे लाइफ ऑफ पीएचडी स्टूडेंट, particularly as a female, Pakistani female?
I mean, first of all, I'd like to say that I was almost prepared to say what all Zahid said. So, what's left is I can share two things. First, my personal experience, and second, looking at this with a gender lens from a woman's perspective. So, firstly, for me, there was no cultural shock. I've been coming to Europe almost every year, maybe, or every other year. And yeah, homesickness wasn't an issue for me because my relatives, I have relatives around in France and in Germany and in Italy. So, but language was also not an issue for me because people speak language here. English is very common and everybody speaks English. If you go for groceries, if you go to train, tram to buy tickets, people speak English here. But cooking and doing everyday, tasks was a great big challenge for me. You won't believe I did not know how to make an egg and all that. And I would add to it that I did not even know which is the tomato that I should buy,
Yeah.
And yeah, starting from that, it was very difficult, very, very difficult. Although I enjoyed, salads and, bringing cooked food and all that. But still, sometimes, I would like to have some dal and chicken. But so that was a challenge. And also looking at it from a cultural aspect, I found the Dutch directness very difficult to manage. Dutch people are very direct. And for example, they would tell you the thing as it is. And coming from Pakistan, हमारी तो बहुत हम बहुत रैप करके बात करते हैं और so that was a big shock for me when they would say things directly. And second thing that was new and difficult for me to cope with is that you have to get appointment for each and everything, for talking to you, for
Yeah.
having a cup of coffee with you. You need appointment. You know, अगर आपको असाइनमेंट की कोई चीज़ समझ नहीं आ रही, आप अपॉइंटमेंट लेके कि वो मेंटली प्रिपेयर हो इस असाइनमेंट पे आपसे बात करने के लिए. So these are the cultural aspects that were new for me. And from the woman's perspective, the gender lens, I think it depends on how you've been living in Pakistan and how your life has been. I am unable to generalize that. And I would totally say that it depends on how comfortable you are in a multicultural but also co-education environment. So they respect women a lot, but I mean, there can be aspects that you need to be really careful, as we are in Pakistan. That's important to not put yourself in vulnerable situations, because there are some aspects of humans that are same everywhere. And you can involve yourself in as many activities and socializing as you want, and you see you can balance between work and socializing. I haven't I haven't come across any gender-based difference
Mhm.
other than this one. That
Mhm.
maybe you have to. Maybe it's different here, but at the core of it, it's you have to be your own God.
Mhm. थैंक यू अमरीन फॉर शेयरिंग योर एक्सपीरियंसेस. मैं इस बात पे जाहिर से एग्री करूँगी क्योंकि आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस द सेम कल्चरल डिफरेंसेस की वजह से बहुत बड़ा शौक था. द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई रिमेंबर आई यूज टू जज अ लॉट एंड देन विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि आई हैव टू स्टॉप जजिंग नाउ बिकॉज हर जगह का कल्चर, रिलीजन, सारी एस्पेक्ट्स जो है उस जगह के हिसाब से होती हैं. उनके रिलीजन, उनके कल्चर, दे ऑल आर राइट. वी आर राइट, दे आर राइट. सो दैट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वाज अ शॉक फॉर मी. और जहाँ पे कुकिंग की बात आती है, वैसे तो हम फीमेल वी आर यूज्ड टू, जैसे अमरीन ने कहा कि शी डिडंट नो, बट आई न्यू ऑल अबाउट दिस. बट फिर भी मुझे जो सबसे ज़्यादा जो हेक्टिक काम लगता था ना, वो ग्रोसरी लेकर आना और फिर खुद ही पकाना, खुद ही खाना. सो दैट वाज द बैड पार्ट ऑफ पीएचडी. क्योंकि वैसे हम पाकिस्तान में इस तरह होता है कि भाई सब्जी लेकर आए, फादर सब्जी लेकर आए, वहाँ पे खुद ही लेनी पड़ती है, खुद ही पकानी पड़ती है. So that was the challenging part as well. Okay, coming to Asad.
Yeah, it's good to hear different experiences. Uh, I had pretty different experiences here. The cultural shock is a main thing that we all talk about and listen to the people who have been outside their country to abroad. I didn't feel any cultural shock, maybe for the obvious reasons that we understand the language. You find the community here, the people here. So, but still, I have seen people here who, on daily basis, they find difficult to adjust because of this cultural shock and differences. Uh, I knew how life is there. We have seen through movies, through dramas. We have read the literature. We know how these people here are. So, in negative terms, our discomfort. I didn't feel any cultural shock. When I reached here, I found everybody, like any person working on the street, in bus, tram, station, into your offices. I felt that everybody is there to help you, to guide you. If they don't know anything, they will tell you where you should go to resolve your problem or talk to the relevant person. So this is a cultural shock that you can find in respect to Pakistan, where you find it really difficult to get your things done in a smooth manner. But here, I think everybody, like, they know their job. They help you a lot. You don't find any difficulty, academic or otherwise. The staff here, the teachers, professors, they are too good. They listen you a lot. I didn't find any discrimination. I found a good environment. I found that how universities should be, where you can talk freely, where you can discuss about the things and all these things. And even in the like day-to-day life, I didn't feel anything like that. That I felt, yes, homesickness is there a bit. You miss your family, and it takes you time to make new friends. Again, it depends how your personality is, how you want to mingle with the people, and which type of people. Mostly here, what we have seen, that people from the same community, like Pakistani, would like to be friends with Pakistanis, Indians with the Indians, Chinese. So this thing is there. Apart from, yeah, there are so many diverse opportunities in the student union, and otherwise you can make friends and all that. All this was hampered due to this COVID thing here in UK. I couldn't explore much because since I arrived here, within 5 months we had COVID and lockdown. I didn't get chance to be more active in all these things, but limited experience that I had in my first 5 months, it was really good. And after that, is now things are going to be normal again. I find everyone quite helpful here, quite friendly as well. I did had a cultural shock when I was back in Pakistan later that year, last year, because it was not coming here; it was going back. I must tell you that I found almost 2 to 3 weeks difficult to communicate with my friends and people around me. I was having difficulty. I told my friends as well. I couldn't find anything common to talk anymore. I was like seeing that people are talking about people. They're not talking about the things. So I was really having tough time. I came for my data collection. So these were the same people I have grew up with and worked for years, studied, but it was quite difficult. These 2 3 weeks I was quite uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, and I kept telling them as well that I'm really adjusting how to talk, what to talk about these things. And it took me, yes, it took me 2 3 weeks to be again myself in that culture. And I think it depends how you want to adjust yourself in different cultures, how much eager you are to learn people without judging, to understand their perspective, to know your limitations as well, and to know your strengths, how much you can stretch yourself, uh, which are those cultural boundaries that you don't want to cross over. But if you find this as an opportunity, if you are open to learning, because learning a culture, living in a culture is can be a learning and it's a big learning as well, you can have a good time. Yes, there are different things that you find really difficult. uh, Many of you find cooking quite difficult here. Yes, we don't cook in Pakistan, but whenever I feel stressed here since I came here, I have found cooking as the like best medication or relief for myself, because you don't want to work, you don't want to study, you don't want to go anything. Just cook. If it's bad, you're gonna eat it. Nobody else is gonna eat it. So I think it was good. I like personally cooking here. Yeah, there are some other chores that I don't like, but yeah, this happens. You have to do it. You have to like, dislike, and all these things. And it's yes, it takes a time to be comfortable, and you cannot be comfortable 100%. You have to pick your moments and make most of the opportunities. As far as the academic environment is concerned, uh, I'm really impressed, and I really enjoy a lot talking to professors. I enjoy a lot talking to students and to common people as well, because they listen to you, you listen to them, and you don't find anything discomforting or bothering, or somebody is going to get offense. You don't feel it. They might get offended, but we don't see on their faces when we talk to them. So this is a big thing that sets you free, and this is what is missing in our culture or in our academic institutions, that we self censor ourselves because of so many reasons, and we think a lot while talking, and we know we can't talk about a lot of things in academic institutions or in our daily life as well. That is quite different here. You get to talk about a lot, and you talk a lot and talk openly, you learn a lot. And I think this is really good. There are many problems, but they are not the problems that get you over. I recently had a bad experience as well because of the COVID. Everything is shut down, universities, the student unions, everything is not working. I haven't met many friends here because of the COVID. I didn't get to meet many people, so I was really having a tough time, mental health issues and all these things. I was even not talking to my friends in Pakistan and in other countries. So it can be a tough thing. You have to look after yourself. This is really important. And how you look after self, you have to find this out. You have to consult with people, and you must look after yourself. And once you do that, you can have a good time. I believe it's a life changing experience who comes abroad to study. Yeah.
Thank you, Asad, for interesting discussion.
Yeah.
Zahid, do you want to add something regarding the opportunities that you get over there?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, once you're in a European country, and I believe it's in the majority of European countries, and especially in the doctorate, in a lot of cases, you will be required to fulfill certain hours of teaching so that you can obtain your diploma. That will usually vary from 100 hours to 200 hours. So once you have that, you do that. That's a totally different experience compared to what we do in Pakistan. First of all, because you have students which are foreigners, both from your country where you are doing your doctorate, and also the other foreign students. So it will range from the Chinese to Canadians to British and from the United States and the French. Um, this is a very huge learning experience once you are here, and it not only polishes your communication skills, but it also helps with your CV that you have taught in some foreign country. Um, and once you have done that, once you have taught for 100 or 200 hours in universities in whichever country you're living in, the future job prospects are really, really great, despite the fact you don't have a very good publication, sorry, or if your publication is still on in the process, you can still get a very good opportunities here and back home in Pakistan based on the numbers of hours you have taught here. So that's one very good thing about PhD. Apart from that, I would agree with Asad. The very, very core idea of being in doctorate is that it opens your mind. The scope of your mind is not the same what we have once you're back there. It opens up the horizons which you never ever had imagined. So every one of us in this group, if we compare ourselves from the day one when we were in Europe, we are a totally different person. So that will be all.
Okay, thank you, Zahid. Amreen, do you want to add something?
Regarding the opportunities, I think I can say that there are opportunities at professional level and there are opportunities at personal level. Of course, Zahid outlined a number of the opportunities at professional level. But what I found very interesting is that there are a lot of spaces for engagement, in intellectual discussions, in academic engaging with academic discourses. Particularly as a PhD is a very lonely journey. You're the person who walks this journey alone, while your professor guides you in one way or the other. But it's a very lonely journey, and such spaces of discussions and engaging with ideas that are relevant to you in one way or the other helps in your professional growth a lot. And I found also the networking space is very useful to listen to what the other colleagues are working on, what the research group is focusing on, and to go to conferences, attend as many seminars as you find relevant. And these are the ways to grow professionally. But also on personal level, there are many opportunities. Like Akshay, you mentioned that you look at different cultures and you start accepting diversity. You start celebrating some of the aspects of your own culture. For example, like you can call a friend anytime and ask that, oh, I have this problem, what should I do? Which only you can do with your friends back home, I think. And then what I found amidst all these professional opportunities missing is that when I read something, I want to discuss it in relation to my own country, my own culture at times. and I am the only one from Pakistan here at my campus. So I really look forward to talking to someone. And like Asad mentioned, if you talk to people back home, we have moved in different direction and they have moved in different direction. So it's hard um, to reach a common ground to start a discussion with. So that's a challenge. And on personal level, I think you can engage in many activities, like we mentioned before, while keeping your boundaries. Of course, there are many opportunities to go for physical activities like boating, trips, and social networking events, learning something new like taking a course in for yoga or painting, dancing, so many opportunities. I'll just stop here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Amreen, for sharing all this. Acha, although we talked about challenges and opportunities, some of the challenges and opportunities, I would like to know what do you think about the bad and good aspects of doing a PhD in Europe? From your perspective, from your life experiences. जी जाहिद आप हंस रहे हैं, पहले आपसे स्टार्ट करते हैं.
So that's a very peculiar question at this point, but I'll try to answer it. The thing is that on our very first day with one of the professors in our school, she said that PhD is like a marriage, okay? So choose your supervisor wisely, because even if it's a bad marriage or a good marriage, you will have to carry it on, okay? Because dunya kya kahegi and that things. So you will have to keep it going on. So it's a two-edged sword. So what I would recommend is, while anyone who's trying to pursue a PhD in any foreign country, not even in Europe, any foreign country, do your research very well on your supervisor. Try to even talk to him or her on some. Nowadays, video conferencing is such a common thing. Try to talk to them, know their perspectives on general things, life, and on research, because it's a very, very long and very tiresome engagement, okay? In times that when we move to a foreign country, we literally leave everything of our family, friends. So one should expect it's a very long span of time. So there will be marriages, there will be happy moments, sad moments in the family. And then if you don't have a very understanding supervisor of your thesis, it will be a really, really difficult job. So it depends on if you have a very good and understanding supervisor in the doctorate. So your journey will be very smooth. It will be very good. You will enjoy. It will be a really, really learning experience. But if it's other way around and you don't have a very good supervisor who is a lot of things which Amreen said, the directness of the Europeans, it's very common in all of the European countries. And this directness dictates that a lot of them become too much logical, and the emotional aspect is dead somewhere. Us, the Asian, belonging from the Asian culture, we are very, very emotional beings, and we need a supervisor to understand our problems related to family and what's going on back there. But when that doesn't happen, we go through a period of a very long stress, which we have witnessed that, as I told you, me and Afsha in France have witnessed that this stress goes into this long depression, and people end up in hospitals because of that. So when you're selecting your supervisor, do a very, very good research on him or her first, so that you will not have problems in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Zahid. Ji Asad.
I would like to add something about the opportunities here. We
Mhm,
discussed about how much we worked hard to get the scholarship. So I
mhm,
would like to say that you have a lot of opportunities to get a scholarship. First of all, it might take you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but eventually, if you continue trying, you will get one. But
mhm,
even if you fail to secure the full-fledged scholarship with a stipend or complete tuition fees. Uh, there are different types of scholarships. One with the tuition fees, as far as UK is concerned, tuition fees and stipend. There are some scholarships with tuition fees only, and there is no stipend. And in some cases, you get like half tuition fees or fees waivers, bursaries, etc. So I would say that whatever your situation is, go for it. If you have money to give the half tuition fees, go for it. If you can only secure the tuition fees scholarship, just grab it and come here, because there are a lot of opportunities. You can earn and you can live here. As far as UK is concerned, there are a lot of opportunities, work opportunities, and you can find the job easily in a sense that you will find eventually. I don't mean to say that you just go to one place and you suddenly found a job, but eventually you will find a job. And if you are working in part times, because we have our restrictions, still you can support your living here, you can save or whatever. So I would say there are a lot of opportunities work wise. If anybody gets even a half opportunity and he she thinks that they have sort of a backup, they have some amount that they can invest in their education, they must invest, because
mhm,
it's eventually going to pay off a lot. So they must invest in this and they should come here. And there are a lot of work opportunities, every type of work. I'm not in good doing so many work, so I struggled a bit, but I continued and eventually I was getting some work. There is a lot of work in the university where you are studying. If you are a PhD student, as I had said, that you get the opportunities as a PhD student to teach something. I did as well. And in those 2 months, I like it was just 6 hours in a week, but I got the money that could help me for 6 months here, if I had to live on my own. So this is really a good thing. I got that project, that was a funded project. So this is gonna end this month, but there was a good amount in that. You learned and you were paid. uh,
mhm,
could any be better story, love story than this, that you learn and you are get
mhm,
paid? So
mhm,
this is as, and all these other works, other part-time jobs, they are not difficult, you can have them. So I think I would encourage all of them who are worried about the money, that
mhm,
how they're going to survive if they just come on tuition fees or bursaries or something. You will find a lot of opportunities here. There are a lot of communities here, Pakistani, Indian, others. If you are having difficulties with communicating with the other people, they will give you work if you want to work. So I
mhm,
think this is really good in terms of opportunities. There are lots of opportunities. You won't sit
mhm,
alone. I
mhm,
guarantee that, because I was not really good at doing manual jobs and other odd jobs, simple jobs. I didn't in my life, but eventually I was trying to get myself engaged. There are multiple benefits of getting this type of work. You are paid and you meet people and you keep yourself engaged.
mhm,
So as Ambreen said, PhD is a lonely journey. You
mhm,
might not find chance to make friends as well. It's completely lonely journey and you have to minimize your loneliness. And to minimize your loneliness, you should be keep working as far as you are concerned for your studies, and supporting your studies, supporting your living. And in these terms, here you can earn a lot. In Pakistan, we know that if you are working part time, you cannot afford your living. But here you can definitely support your living. And in this case, the financial tensions are reduced to a greater extent. Many people have these misconceptions that it's going to be difficult here when you come here. I have seen many people who manage to get the fees of a half year. They came here for masters, and they just paid the fees for the first semester. But they came here, they started working as well. Now they are not only paying, supporting their living, they are also paying their tuition fees as well. So in these all these ways, you find a lot of opportunities. So I think I wanted to share this. And what was your question exactly?
जी,
Yeah.
मेरा सवाल ये था कि बहुत अच्छी-अच्छी बातें की आपने, तो
Hmm.
कोई ऐसी बुरी चीज़ बुरा
Yeah.
एक्सपीरियंस?
बुरा एक्सपीरियंस, अगर मैं अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से कहूँ, तो all this was because of the COVID, because of the life, the way life has changed. In a way, I cannot completely analyze how the society is, because it is in some um, difficult circumstances nowadays. These are unusual. So difficulties can be many. As Zahid also said about the supervisor, I feel quite privileged and fortunate. My supervisors are great. They support me a lot. They are very understanding as well. They support me emotionally as well if I am having a rough time, intellectually, on all these things. I find them really good. So I have no personal reservations for my supervisor. I am always grateful to them. But this can be the case because I have heard the stories where people are not really satisfied with the supervisor, and it can be a biggest like disappointment if you are not really comfortable, because in the end, uh, two people matter in entire this journey of PhD, you and your supervisor. If any one of them is not happy, it's gonna make your life tough, academically and personally as well. This is the biggest thing I think people should choose. And they can't see, if you are going on the website seeing their research interest, you cannot judge that you are going to have good bonding with your supervisor. So it's by chance. So I don't think that by researching a lot about your supervisor, because you can't find the personal life of supervisor on the websites. So it's just a luck. But you have to be adjustable. I don't think personally that supervisor are unnecessarily tough here. I don't think personally that they can be unnecessarily like they have some revenge on you or they want to victimize you. I don't know, because my supervisors are great. I really like whenever I talk to them. I feel good. Everything, every time I get something from them, emotionally, intellectually, they are good. Loneliness is a big factor. The homesickness can be a big factor. And if you keep like, if you become too critical of this culture, this can be a bit a big disappointment. If you are continuously a big critic of this culture where you are living, you can be critical of the things. But if culturally we start seeing everything in a right and wrong perspective, it will affect your learning. Then you will go back as you had come. Nothing would have been changed. You will not be the changed person. I think motto should be to be a changed person, definitely. Even if you are in Pakistan or in other countries, if you are starting something new, that must have some sort of effect on your life. If even if you are doing a job in Pakistan, if you are like joining any organization, a new organization, you must be a changed person. It must have a sort of effect on you. um, it will have, whether it is negative or positive, but you should be conscious of that change, that आपने कितना पार्ट प्ले किया उस चेंज के लिए. So there can be tough moments here, in terms of networking, in terms of bad experience or communication with your supervisor. Otherwise there is nothing much. If you take this journey as experience and you are open, the problems are everywhere a bit of, but they can be overcome with so many other things. Yeah.
Thank you, Asad. Thank you for the detailed discussion. बहुत क्लियरली आपने बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक्सप्लेन की बिसाइड्स द गाइडलाइंस टू द प्रोस्पेक्टिव स्टूडेंट्स। जैसे हम सब एग्री कर रहे हैं कि पीएचडी इज़ अ लॉनली जर्नी, बट आई
Yes.
बिलीव देयर आर ऑलवेज टू पीपल, you and your supervisor, although it's a lonely journey.
You can be
So
lonely if you are with someone, and if
yeah.
it's not working, you can
So
still feel lonely.
यस, तो आपने अपने पार्टनर को बहुत केयरफुली चूज़ करना है बिकॉज़ इट्स अ मैरिज फॉर 3 to 4 years. So coming to Ambreen, do you want to add something to this? Did you feel any bad experience or worst, any kind of negative experience that you had during your PhD?
Aksha, I agree with Asad and Zahid, on almost everything that they said. But I mean, we cannot keep our eyes closed to the experiences that have been challenging and difficult for maybe not me directly, but I have seen PhDs go through that. For example, there has been issues. There have been, I mean, severe issues of with supervisors. There have been challenges regarding to homesickness, to cultural shocks. These are the challenges, of course, that are real, and I've seen many PhDs go through one or the other. So for the students or for the prospective PhDs who are listening and in your university, just be prepared. I would say these are real challenges. These do exist. Discrimination does happen. Language is a big problem outside UK English speaking world. Here language is a big problem. uh, if not, if it is not a problem in going around in daily life, it is a problem when it comes to finding ways out, to documentation, to getting legal, to covering the legal aspects of things. I get a fine from parking, and I don't know what it is, where I have to manage it, how I have to do that. So, language is a challenge, besides the challenges that Asad mentioned. Of course, finances is a challenge for many students. It is, I haven't seen it easy here in the Netherlands to find jobs, to find work. For PhDs, it's very difficult. Of course, their own people, they prioritize. They ask for a certain level of Dutch language, that we can never compete, we can never be good enough. This is a very big challenge, and I think more than 3-4 of the PhDs struggled a lot after completing after the defense to get a job, but because of the language problem or because of this problem, they couldn't get it. So of course, there are challenges, but how the question is, how can we manage those challenges? So first of all, you have to be ready for it, to be prepared for it, to be open to accepting new things, and to be open to taking the challenges. And one of the ways that I've found useful in managing all these aspects is to having a support group. So diversify your sources of support. Do not just look forward to your supervisor for support, or to your admin, or to your social person at the university for support. Diversify your sources of support. Like Asad mentioned, join the Pakistanis or Indians or South Asians in Netherlands group. Join other groups like related to your own area of work or to your own area of interest, and do not just depend on your supervisor or your university, because you need support beyond that. And that is not just a support, I think that's a lot of learning as well, because once you live in a new country, in a new culture, you also meet people from other cultures. So, in a multicultural environment, there is a lot of learning as well. So this support network would help you grow as well, to learn as well, and would also act as a support group. I will give you one example. I had this a challenge with some environment and road taxes that I got, and I was unable to understand how to manage it, where to go. All the information was in Dutch language. I tried to translate it. I wasn't able to still comprehend, how to manage it. So I asked around in students from Pakistan in Netherlands group, and there was a lot of help from there. And then I learned what students do to earn money. And then this group also helped another student as well. That you can, oh, why don't you start teaching English language? You know English so well, and here people like to learn English. So just diversify your network of support, and you will find your ways out. As Asad says, it's worth it. There are opportunities alongside many challenges.
Okay, thank you, Ambreen. Now, coming to conclude this session, I would like to ask if you have any question, any suggestion, any recommendations for the people that are listening to you. They will be watching you maybe later on. So, what kind of suggestion do you want to give to the particularly people in Pakistan? Ji Zahid.
I mean, it's not my place to tell someone what to do or how to do, but one thing which doctorate or PhD will do to you and will really be acting on you is to give you a perspective of science and to think like a real scientist. Don't struggle it. Think like a real scientist. Learn, and learn more. Your life will be pretty easy after that. That's it.
Thank you. Ji Asad.
हमारा काम ही सजेशन देना है because we belong to Pakistan. So I would say that there are many things. If you are ambitious, if you want to learn, go abroad. Anyone in Pakistan who he must for once, like for one degree at least, he must go abroad if he is really into learning something and making like his or her professional better, his personal life better, his ideas and views changed to be a better person in some way. He or she should aspire, because this had been my dream and I'm living it, not completely ideally, but I'm really enjoying it. So from the beginning, as all the things that we have discussed, I would just summarize that if you want to go abroad, there are lots of opportunities, and don't give up. Be in consultation with people who had experience. You might find some supportive and some unsupportive among them. Continue your search and you will get that. It's a tedious job. There are lots of forms, there are so many rejections, so many half opportunities, missed opportunities, and full opportunities, but eventually you will get one. And second, when you come over here, I think there are more opportunities and better things than the challenges. Yes, there are challenges. Cultural shock is a big challenge. Loneliness is a big challenge. Communication can be big challenge if there is a language difference. So I think those challenges are do not matter in terms of opportunities that you get here. जितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज आपको मिलती हैं प्रोफेशनली, आप खुद को ग्रूम करने के लिए, इंटेलेक्चुअली पर्सनली ग्रूम करने के लिए, इंजॉय करने के लिए, इवन घूमने फिरने के लिए, काफ़ी चीज़ें नहीं करने के लिए, वो मेरे ख्याल में उन चैलेंजेस से ज़्यादा हैं. Have some trust in yourself and have some trust in people around you who can be good guide to you. कुछ दोस्त होंगे आपके, कुछ आपके टीचर्स होंगे, अच्छा ताल्लुक कायम करें उनसे सीखें, उनसे पूछें. और आई थिंक आप काफी कुछ कर सकते हैं. And nowadays, as we have seen, many people are coming and many people still can come. कंपटीशन ज्यादा हो रहा है, अवेयरनेस ज्यादा बढ़ रही है स्कॉलरशिप्स के मामले में. कुछ साल पहले आई हैव सीन पीपल who even couldn't get admission in Pakistani universities. Oh, Afsha has messaged. Please add me. How to add her? Do you know anybody? Who is the host?
She was the host, and I don't have any thing to.
Anyone might be the host at the moment, except her.
No, we are not.
I'm
And
not
I
the
think
host. Yeah.
Okay. Share. How can we share a screen?
I think we will just conclude it and then
Conclude it. Yeah.
Miss Ambreen, please go ahead.
Yeah.
I would just like to add that just like to make a couple of suggestions. Firstly, do your homework before coming. It's very, very important. Knowing means a lot here. Talk to as many people as you can and get information about things and life here, not just at academic level, but everyday life and about your plans as well. So do your homework. And second, be ready to adapt. If you know what's coming, prepare yourself to adapt. That's very important for your peace of mind and for your PhD particularly, because you won't be able to focus if you're not ready to accept the uncertainties, changes, coming out of your comfort zone. That's very important. And third, like Asad mentioned, consistency, consistent efforts. You have to keep doing, and keep doing. Thanks. That's from my side.
So Afsha is not here. I will take the crown. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. It was a lovely discussion and was very well time spent. I hope people will see it and get some information out of it. Thank you so much for being here. So we'll just leave the studio, and I think it will automatically be on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Have a
Afsha.
great
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Afsha.
Good afternoon.